Welcome to Serenity Wealth Now with Chris Cooper. This is not your typical financial radio show. As a licensed CPA, insurance agent, and investment advisory representative, Chris coaches his clients on a holistic view of financial well-being with an objective of providing a complete financial strategy to fund life's goals. Chris is here to guide you down the path to the financial serenity you deserve. Now, here's Chris Cooper.
All right. Good morning. June 15th. It is Father's Day. And I could not think of a better way to talk about Father's Day to think about fun toys for guys. And so in studio with me today, we've got David Young of the Sound Room. David, how are you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you.
Good. Well, I got to tell you, every time you go to work, you have got to just feel like a kid in a candy store.
You know, it is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We've been delivering fun for 42 years.
42 years of delivering fun. I mean, that's, how can you complain about that, right?
Right. It's not really a job. It's just,
Yeah.
you know, you're surrounded by music and you're surrounded by movies and all kinds of cool toys.
And you get to see the latest and greatest. And you guys set things up in such an amazing, perfect way. Every room looks just like its own different style of man cave in some respects, right?
Yeah. What we try and do is we try and show you what it's going to look like in your home.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and different rooms too. I mean, you got some pretty neat things just looking at some of the things where the TV is kind of like, looks like a painting. For many people, they love that, right? Because it doesn't look like the TV is the centerpiece of the great room anymore.
Yeah, we're good at making the technology disappear.
Yeah.
We're interior designer friendly.
Yeah. Well, and I think that goes a long way, especially in today's new construction process, because ultimately we have one big, large entertainment space in a lot of newer homes. And you don't think about, you know, the TV viewing area anymore. It's all kind of one larger space. And so it needs to be versatile,
right,
and design friendly, right?
And something that everybody can use.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think also just as important as that aesthetic side is, you want your technology to deliver top-notch sound and quality, right?
Right. Well, we sell performance. So
yeah.
Something we've always done.
Yeah.
Is performance audio and video for years.
Yeah. Well, and I can attest to the 4 years. So let's go back. You know, you said 42 years, which is an exciting milestone. Celebrated a 40-year anniversary 2 years ago and still going strong.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
When I went out and, you know, when young teenager kid, you got to remember back in the day when the sound systems were all the thing, you had to have the big speakers in your cars. So I went to the Sound Room in Chesterfield off Clarkson Road and drove my car right on into the building there, to the bay there, and had all my great speakers all put in my car, because at the time that was my kind of place, right? That was mine. I didn't have any other asset, right? Like a home to make mine, but my car was, and wow. Yeah. That sound was amazing. And I'm going, holy cow.
Big man on campus.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. My parents still talk about how when I would get home, they could know I was coming home from like streets away. I now I'm too old for that stuff, I'll be honest. But man, that was a lot of fun. So
yeah, we had a good run with the car audio business for quite a while.
Yeah.
Until the cars just started getting so much better in terms of their audio performance.
Yeah.
And complicated, frankly. And we decided, you know what, we're going to exit that business. We're just going to focus on home and small business, which is what we've done probably for the last, 10 years.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and you're right. The car audio did start offering some performance packages. Now, they weren't near the same.
No.
But for the vast majority of the public, it's probably more than what they really need.
Oh, yeah.
And quite frankly, even my teenage self, it would have been just fine. But I loved that system.
Yes.
It was a lot of fun. So
yeah, I had a few myself.
Well, and you mentioned that the things changed, right? I mean, I had the thing back in the day where you car stereos would get stolen. So you had to have the face that detached off.
Oh, right.
Right?
Exactly.
It's just, that doesn't happen anymore. It's just kind of integrated in.
Yeah, you'd have to take the whole dash.
That's right. Yeah. It's a little different these days.
It is. It's quite a bit different.
Yeah. So home audio is where your focus is, but you also do businesses, right? Now, you also work with new home builders in the St. Louis area, and quite frankly, a lot of them.
Yeah, we're in about 800 homes a year.
Yeah.
Of which 600 are new homes.
Wow.
With production builders. So we are the technology provider for all those homes.
Nice.
Every builder offers some kind of technology package.
Yep.
That we've designed, and then every client gets to come in and pick out what they want.
Right. And that's the neat thing, is you can kind of then add on or customize or do what makes sense for your situation of what you're wanting to be building in your new home.
Right. So, the builder might give you like a little sampling of maybe some lighting control, a door camera, some audio, some television wiring, and then we would just expand on that.
Yeah. Now, I assume it's a lot easier to do some of that stuff during the construction phase than it would be doing it after the fact.
It is way easier to get wires when the walls aren't up.
Yeah.
And cheaper.
Right.
I mean, it's about a third of the cost to wire a new home as opposed to go in and retrofit.
Sure.
And then there's just some places you can't get in an existing home. But we do a lot of existing homes. Because, this is St. Louis. We have a big housing stock.
Right.
And we work in, a lot of homes, including some of the old mansions, in the Central West End that have those, 4-foot walls and plaster. My guys love that, by the way.
Yeah. Well, they find a way to make it work.
They do.
Yeah.
Right. So, but as I said, about, 800 homes a year.
Yeah.
On the average.
Quite a few homes you're in each and every year.
Yep.
So on the build process, how did you get into, what made you go, you know what, there's probably some market here where I could work with the builder community and say, hey, I can offer this technology side of what you guys do and kind of take it off your plate probably and offer something really great to those consumers.
For a long time, the builders resisted doing any kind of business. They looked at it as an aggravation, or they just wanted to build a house and get out of it. Some of the more forward-thinking builders, though, realize that building a home with technology is what people want. I mean, you don't go buy a car with roll-up windows and manual locks, and
then add them after the fact to the electronic.
Right. So the more progressive builders were using technology as a competitive advantage over their competition.
Yeah.
And, basically if we put in a processor, say a security panel that does some automation, then the customer can just kind of grow and add on to that very easily.
Well, and when you're building a home, you want it to really feel like your home from day one. And it makes the builder look good too.
Yes,
right?
It does.
So I know you mentioned some of the more progressive thinking builders. I will, a couple weeks ago, we had Jim Brennan on McKelvey Homes, and we're building with them right now. And so I think that they're probably much more on the customer service and forward thinking view of things.
Yes, they are. We've been working with McKelvey for many years.
Yeah.
And they do a wonderful job.
Yeah. It's been a lot of fun working with them, and because they really do like some of that customization, and it's been amazing. And so the consultation process at the sound room was part of that, and going through all the different scenarios, all the different options, the different things you could add. And, I'm a guy, I live in my house today. I like my house, but you know what? The internet frustrates me. The TVs, smart TVs, I just, back in the day when we just turned the TV on, flipped a few channels, it was really nice, simple. It's a lot more complicated these days.
Well, you have a whole lot more options.
You do.
I mean, tons more options, but with more options comes complexity.
Yeah.
So we try and make that easy for our customers. We tame the technology,
which is nice. I think, and it can get out of control, especially when it gets more complicated.
Yeah.
Right?
The thing we're really stressing now is that you have to start with a really good network.
Yeah.
Because everything is on the network.
Yep.
And you have, and that's the backbone.
I mean, your refrigerator can be on the network these days.
Your appliances.
I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's amazing. We'll go into some houses and we'll say, well, how many things do you have in your network? And they're like, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4. And then we'll count like 30 because every iPad, every phone, everything, your television, everything's on that network.
Right.
So you have to have a really good, strong network. We put in enterprise level networks in homes because frankly, people are, working from home, they're playing from home, they're learning, they're earning. So you have to have a good network, and that's where we start.
And that's what drew me in first and foremost, quite frankly, is because I'm sitting here going, wow, this is going to be great. All my little dropping of the TV, the little spinning things when I'm trying to watch the ball game, all those things, I think it's solved with that simple fix of a network.
Right.
Yeah.
And of course, during COVID, this was huge.
Oh, yeah.
Because, people were at home, the kids were at home, the parents were at home, and everybody was pounding the network. And
right.
So we did a lot of network upgrades during COVID, but, we learned a lot, and we continue to do that.
It's great. Now, you guys also, not only from an installation perspective, start with the good equipment, of course, installation. There's also a servicing component for troubleshooting along the way as well.
Yeah, we have visibility into the system. So if there is an issue, a lot of times we can correct it.
Nice.
From our office. We don't have to roll a truck.
Yeah.
Which saves you money.
Right.
It saves us money, frankly. It saves time. We have dedicated service people that just look at the networks, and we can tell when something's offline before you can.
Yeah. Well, I'll be looking for those phone calls to tell me when I'm, because that maybe saves me from having to yell at my TV from time to time, So it's funny. Last time I was in the store talking to Doug. Doug's putting together our package for our home. And all of a sudden I'm walking around and I see a friend of mine, a client of mine that I know. And I'm like, hey, what are you doing here? What are you buying in here? So, and he had just taken some money out for his stuff. I'm like, yeah, you know what? That's fine. You deserve it. So it's such a fun little thing because you get to see a lot of different people. And man, there's some really fun rooms in your place.
Oh, yeah. We make it fun.
Yeah.
We have 3 dedicated audio rooms. We have kind of the switching room where you can kind of compare in-wall speakers and ceiling speakers, tower speaker subs. We have the kind of the mid-fi room, and then we have the big boy room, and that's with the big Macintosh electronics and Sonos Faber speakers for real serious listening. And that's a lot of fun. That's the goosebump room.
Now, is that the theater room as well, or no?
No.
It's different. I know. I'm going to have to check out this room then.
Yeah, the theater room is altogether different.
Okay.
That has the 150-inch screen with the Sony laser projector and a 7.4.4 audio system with the Starlight ceiling and the 2 rows of
the Starlight
chairs.
ceiling, that is really cool, by the way.
People love it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the one thing they comment on is I love that ceiling.
It's pretty neat looking.
It's a fun room.
Adds
great
a little
room.
ambiance.
Yeah, it's a great room for watching movies, of course, but also for, some of the series. We watched Yellowstone because the video and audio on that show is phenomenal.
It's a great show.
And you have to, it has to be watched big with a great sound system.
Yeah.
Sports too is a great place. And then there's gamers. Gamers are huge, and it's a great gaming room.
Right. Yeah. Well, and it's got the tiered structure seating as well, right? So that's kind of got that nice ambiance with the movie theater aspect of it as well. You have a room like that in your home. Do you even want to go to the movie theater anymore? I don't know.
Not many people are with that.
Right? I mean, it's changed a lot these days.
These movies are coming out almost about the same time they hit the theater.
It's crazy. Yeah. I mean, The Accountant 2 is a great example with that. My son wanted to watch that. We missed it in the theater, and it was on Prime Video like 2 weeks later.
Right.
It's nuts. Yeah. So it was just a good movie, by the way. So as an accountant, I may as well give props to The Accountant 2, right? Movie-wise. I don't do that kind of work, by the way. So
got it.
We'll leave that to Ben Affleck. So 42 years. What do you think has been the keys to success in your business for 42 years?
I think it's just that we've adapted.
Yeah.
We started out in 1983. We were a stereo store, and by the way, 1983 was the very first year of the CD. So up until that time, up until the history of time, everything was analog.
Yeah.
And then 1983, the CD came out, and that was a game changer. And so in 1983, we were stereo store.
Yeah.
And you had your television in one room and your stereo system in another room. And then television became stereo and surround sound.
Right.
And all of a sudden now we're putting together a home theater,
right.
the first home theaters. And we're doing custom installations, and we're putting music in different rooms with different controls. And we've just kind of adapted to that. And then, of course, as you mentioned, we added car stereo.
Yeah.
And then lighting control, because we were doing these home theaters. We needed a good way to control the lights.
Right.
And then security systems and video surveillance systems and temperature control and door locks and, the whole gamut.
Yeah.
Of course, I mentioned networks, motorized window treatments. We're now doing lighting fixtures. So we're pretty much all the technology under one roof. It's one throat to choke.
Well, I had no idea. 1983, man, CDs had a pretty good run.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
they sure did.
Man, I still remember when it started going to this digital thing, and you had to upload your CDs into the cloud, because that's when you started to listen to them in the storage mechanisms. And who'd have thought that eventually you just would pay for an app. And that would be the way it goes.
And the access to music today is amazing.
It's unreal.
I mean, you can just sit there and you can look up a song and play it immediately.
Yeah.
If
you want to know what the lyrics are, you got that too. Yep. You don't have to read the book.
Right. Make your own playlist.
Yeah.
But music is an important part of life, frankly. And,
absolutely.
What's a party without music?
Right.
We have music at our house all the time.
How can you not? And you got the speakers that give you the ability to have, through connection, to really go from from outside to inside, all across the rooms, all in sync too. Right?
Yep. And right now outside is huge.
Yeah.
I mean, because the weather's nicer, and people are really using that outdoor area as their second living room.
Yeah.
Their entertainment area. So we're doing a lot of outdoor audio and video, a lot of outdoor TVs and outdoor audio.
Outdoor TVs have gotten really big.
Yes, they have.
And it's the one, because TVs have gotten really cheap. I mean, if you think holy cow, they've gotten so much cheaper than they used to.
Yeah, that's deflation.
Yeah, it's the weirdest. But outdoor TVs are still very expensive, but for a different reason.
Right. Well, they're also coming down just like indoor TVs.
That's true.
So they're much more affordable than they used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, our business is like everything gets better and the price goes down. And I don't know any other business like that. But
it's great.
It's like
it's not bad. You picked a winner here.
The TV you buy today is half the price and it's twice as good. I remember when I built my last house, it was in the year 2000, and the flat panel, high definition flat panel, just came out, and I installed a 50-inch Pioneer plasma over my fireplace.
Yeah.
Can you guess how much it cost then?
50-inch 2000 plasma, and this was brand new plasma when that was like this. Oh, I remember how it looked really good then too.
Yep.
Or $4,000?
Yeah, you're a little bit off.
Yeah,
Chris, $20,000.
No way.
Yep.
No way.
$20,000 for a 50-inch.
Holy cow.
Of course, now you can buy
Is everyone that far off, by the way? Give me some credit.
Yeah,
pretty
much.
I would not. That's a lot. Wow.
Yeah. So that just shows you how far things have
And
come.
Plasma's not even around anymore, is it?
No, it's all, OLED.
Yeah, QLED is the latest and greatest, right? I think.
Micro LED.
Yeah.
I mean, there's, all kinds of technology. Although I will say that plasma did offer about the best picture for years and years.
Yeah.
The other technology has caught up. But that was, I mean, I had plasma TVs till I couldn't have them anymore.
now 50-inch is like almost the size of like your kitchen.
Oh,
TV
right.
now, right?
Exactly.
Because now they're like 70-inch TVs galore. It's crazy.
Well, I mean, you were selling, Sony's 98-inch TV is sub $5,000.
Wow.
And, it'll blow your socks off.
Yeah. And I remember, my first big TV was you'd wheel it in and it had the speakers down below.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the big, you had to figure out, and what goes on the back of the on the top of the TV, because you got to have something. Otherwise, it just looks weird. It's like a storage place, you know?
No, it's
now you hang them on walls,
right?
You know, with just drywall screws. It doesn't take much these days.
Well, you wanted something a little better than
fair
that.
enough. Yeah.
You don't want to try that.
Yeah, that's why I leave it to the professionals, by the way.
Exactly. Yeah. Our customers don't change their own oil and they don't hang their own TVs.
Well, good. I don't change my own oil either. That's I don't have the tools for these kinds of things, really, right? Let alone I end up, when I hang my own TV, I end up with like 8 different holes in the wall behind it because it's not in the right place.
Right.
So,
well, the other thing is, the reason the TV sizes just keep getting bigger and bigger is because the quality is so much better that you can sit closer to it and still get the phenomenal picture. Yeah. So, I mean, every year you see the average size get bigger. As I said, 98-inch. We're now installing 115-inch in somebody's theater.
Unbelievable.
They get bigger and better.
And that screen at 15-inch, that's a TV, not a projector.
No.
Okay.
So projector now, they're measured in feet. A 10-foot screen, a 15-foot screen. It's just like, the quality on those are still pretty impressive, or have stayed with it too, right? Oh yeah. With the new laser, there's no lamp anymore to wear out. It's all laser, and the clarity is there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a different experience. I mean,
so for the home theater and that kind of situation, or like the basement room, is it would you say, you know what, go with the projector?
It's a different experience.
Yeah.
So we define a home theater as a dedicated room for watching movies.
Yeah.
And it's usually something big, usually a projector, because that's the biggest, and a really nice surround sound system.
Right.
Versus a media room, which is a multi-purpose room you were describing earlier, that big family room, where you're doing a bunch of different things, and you have ambient light that you don't have to worry about, things like that. So it's a different experience. If you really want that theater experience where for 2 hours you can basically be transported to a whole different place without leaving your home, then that's your home theater.
Gotcha. Which is a projection screen.
It's a projection. Yep. Still, although those TVs are getting bigger all the time, and at some point they will take over.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. That's cool. It's just interesting to see all the different technology advancements. Now, after 42 years, do you still get excited about the newest, latest, and greatest toy?
I mean, how can't you?
Right.
I mean,
I can only imagine. Yeah.
I've said, I have to reinvent the business about every 6 months because there's just some new technology coming out. And I think that's why we've, survived and thrived while we've had big box stores and small stores and everything in between come and go. And we just keep thriving because we adapt. We look at the future, we see what the new trends are, but we also really focus on customer service,
right? Which
never goes out of style.
No. Well, because really that's not your product is not what you're really selling at the sound room. It's the experience,
it is,
right?
The experience. Yeah. As I said, we deliver happiness. And, we sell premium products, but we also, we sell the Sonys, Samsungs, and LGs, Sonos.
Yeah.
But we're the same price as the big box stores and Amazon.
Which I don't know if everyone knows that. There's an assumption there that it's not the same. But the difference is I can understand from somebody that understands technology what the difference is between the levels of TVs.
Right.
There's a reason that these Black Friday specials are $300 and they don't have the processing speeds, so your network's not going to work the same way. All of those things.
Yes.
That's what makes a difference, right?
Yeah. The difference is we're selling their premium products. We have a saying, it's same price, better advice.
Yeah, there you go.
And we are part of a larger national group of about 100 independently owned companies throughout the United States, the creme de la creme, the best companies in each market.
Sure.
And we pull our resources together. We go to the manufacturers and we negotiate the same deals they're giving to Best Buy and Amazon.
Perfect, because that's buying power does matter.
So we can compete.
Yeah.
But we're not selling those $300 specials. That's not who we are.
Right.
We're selling the more premium luxury products, the performance products. And the fact is we have not only the customers that demand that, but we have the personnel that can explain to you exactly what the difference, what you're getting, because our staff, our team members are experienced. They've been in the business a long, long time.
Yeah.
They're passionate about what they do.
Right. Which makes a difference, because ultimately that's what you're really offering the community.
Mm-hmm.
It's really that level of service, that high quality expectation is always there, but you can't deliver high quality service with an inferior product.
Right.
It just doesn't work.
No, you have
Something
to have
will
both.
be missing. Right. Absolutely. So 42 years and counting. What is the newest, coolest toy that you can think of that's kind of coming up on the horizon here that we don't know about?
What I've seen at the shows, I've seen these screen walls that are basically modular televisions that can be sized any way that you want. And that is really cool. You can also display art on them when they're off. So they're never really dark.
Okay.
But they're life size.
So that would basically be, because some people in like their sports kind of themed room or their bar would have like 4 different TVs kind of hung on the same wall.
Four different sports at the same time.
That's what this wall would kind of just do.
Yes.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah. So we're seeing that. We're seeing some very cool processors for video to just make the video great. And then of course with audio, it's the Dolby Atmos and the experience where you're hearing things not only behind you, but above you, below you, on the side. I mean, it really puts you into the action.
Well, and that's what you said earlier, that transports you into a different place.
Yeah. For 2 hours, you can basically go somewhere else.
Right, which isn't a bad thing.
Yeah.
We need that in life.
We do.
Right? Delivering fun, delivering that service, that high quality experience for the community. David, thanks for coming in. Really appreciate you joining us.
Thank you for having me, Chris. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. All right. The Sound Room, delivering 42 years of quality visual and audio equipment to the St. Louis community. Absolutely amazing. Seeing that progression, going from all the different areas of focus to really generating that home audio experience for the St. Louis community is an absolutely amazing thing. What is the common theme we hear from business owners? It's that sense of community. It's that quality that is just an expectation. But more importantly, the big differentiator, customer service and satisfaction. It's what makes a difference. It's what we focus on here at Serenity Wealth as well. Whether you're dealing with audio equipment, visual equipment, or good, solid financial advice, you've got to make sure the plan makes sense for the individual. It's got to be based on goals. It's got to be based on objectives. It's got to be based on things that are fun and enjoyable because, it's not about just having money and saving money and, dealing with, piles and piles of things. No, it's about living the life you enjoy. It's about living and enjoying your experiences, creating those experiences. And from a visual and audio perspective, it's about unwinding, settling down, taking some time to enjoy the day because life's hard. Right? It is challenging. Getting home from work every day, it's exhausting. But when you enjoy what you do, it doesn't have to be. And that's why I enjoy what I do as well, right? So David talks about, hey, why would he retire, right? He doesn't need to because he enjoys each and every day. And he's got a plan in place to make sure that he does so. He gets to enjoy every day of work because it's not work. And that's very common from a business owner environment perspective. So visit the Sound Room and you'll see what I mean about enjoying that just feeling like a kid in a candy store. If you like good quality visual audio components done for you, oh my gosh, I am so excited about that networking side of things because my internet stinks and I have great internet. But for some reason, I end up with the big circle all the darn time at home and it raises my blood pressure, right? I don't want that in my life. My kids and my dogs don't like it either. My dog used to run downstairs every time I turned the TV on because he'd be afraid of what I would yell because the TV wasn't working right. I want my stuff to work. It's important. And we want to make sure we have a good plan that works also. It's frustrating when it doesn't. Sometimes things are going to happen. We're going to have outages, right? We're going to have market ups and downs. but we need to make sure our plan stays intact so we can enjoy those things that are important to us. We can enjoy our life. We can make sure we plan for expenses to enjoy the things that we deserve, right? The good quality sound, visual entertainment equipment, because we want to get off of work. We want to come home and relax, and we want to enjoy those experiences with our families and friends. That's what life's about. Finances can get us there, but it's all about having that plan to make sure that our finances can last for our lifetime. We work hard. You deserve to make sure those funds last, okay? So closing notes, folks, it is Father's Day. Happy Father's Day. Hopefully we get some good weather, right? It's nice. We have the ability to enjoy Father's Day in the summertime, get out, grill, whatever makes sense, whatever you do with your family and loved ones. I know for my Father's Day, we tend to do some grilling, some burgers and things like that. We have a great time hanging out at the pool. So Dennis, I'm sure you're listening. Happy Father's Day to you. And I encourage everyone to spend some time in the sound room for Father's Day. Get yourself a nice, fun treat, because man, oh man, if you're looking at figuring out what your man cave should look like and sound like, this is the place to make sure the good quality equipment done right is in place. And that's what's all about. That peace of mind. You know, you have a plan in place to enjoy that lifestyle you deserve. Enjoy your Father's Day. Dennis, happy Father's Day to you. And folks out there, happy Father's Day to all fathers. See you next week.
Serenity Now!
This is Serenity Wealth Now with Chris Cooper. Request a free copy of Chris's latest book, The New Holistic Retirement, by visiting SerenityWealthNow.com.
Investment advice offered through Fortis Capital Advisors, LLC.